Scorpio, Sun, Moon, or Rising, May 2023. Scorpio, this is a big month for you because the eclipse in Scorpio is happening in your sign, the lunar eclipse. And everyone, Scorpio, will feel it to some extent, but the ones that have a planet there in Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or maybe Venus or Mercury, within 2-3 degrees, their life changes in a big way. It might have changed already because an eclipse is triggered a month before, and then so lunar eclipse up to 6 months after. So something maybe it's not going to happen on the 4th or 5th of May exactly, but within 2-3 months, your life can happen around, if you're born Sun, Moon, or Ascendant, or planets in Scorpio, around 14 degrees. It only works within 3 degrees orb. The eclipse that really will change your life. And to know if you have anything within 3 degrees, you can use my my personal transit calendar. It shows just 5 to 7 days ahead for free. You need to keep coming every day to get to this day. But if on the 4th or 5th, 6th of May, those 3 days, you see that the eclipse is conjunct something in your horoscope, it shows it there, click on it and read it. It will change your life. Otherwise, maybe it's not affecting you so strongly, but still, what can this eclipse bring for Scorpio? First of all, it's with the South Node. It's about letting go of something. It's about releasing part of your ego and of yourself, or of your life, of your lifestyle that is toxic, that is not serving you anymore, that is just dragging you down emotionally. It might be some little sacrifice, like I've seen people like cut their hair off when there is an eclipse in their first house. That's spontaneously. They didn't do it for the eclipse, but it's like sacrifice of something of themselves. I've seen people give up some certain lifestyle because the South Node and Scorpio, they're both about elimination of something from your life, something toxic. Remove something toxic from your life, or someone toxic. It's a full moon eclipse. It involves the 7th house as well. Someone that's crossing boundaries, or someone that is too much of a drag on you, or you might be cut off by someone. It might play the other way around sometimes, but it's only so you can shift something in your life here. And what can I say? It's a little bit out of your free will ability now, because it's with the South Node. It's something that has been put in action from before, and now it's time that it gets completed. You see the final results of it. So in a positive way, it can be the completion of some big project in your life that you've been putting efforts to, and you're seeing it ending now, and you're finishing that contract, so you're finished with that, so you see the results and the rewards, because full moon also gives rewards. Full moons are considered benefic in ancient astrology, but it has the note of this thing is ending as well. On another level, it can be that you really release something that is no longer useful for you, which is great, but there can be the needs to sacrifice something without you being very excited about sacrificing it. Just be aware that it's part of it. Plus, eclipses, especially on if it's your ascendant, sun or moon, you have to be a bit more cautious about your health. Usually the health can be eclipsed as well. The mind of the person can be eclipsed. You might feel you're losing your mind if it's within 3 degrees of sun, moon, or ascendant, around the 14th degree of Scorpio. Big changes can be happening in your life that are turning your life around if you're those middle degrees of Scorpio that feel like overwhelming, because Uranus is also part of the eclipse, so they're sudden. It comes, it sweeps your life, it changes your life. It can be in the form of a new partner, it can be the form of an old partner leaving, because it's on the axis of relationships as well. You starting a new lifestyle. If it's your sun in Scorpio, it can be important male figure, something important crisis happening, changing your career with the sun. Or if it's with the moon, your home and family, big shift there. It might be exciting shift, like, oh, we're pregnant, or oh, we're moving. Or sometimes it can be like, oh, what's happening? We have to move, With the moon is usually more personal life, but it's still the health. If it's the sun, moon, or ascendant in Scorpio, you have to be a bit more cautious about your health. And I think that even if the change that turns your life around 180 degrees, it can be very great, I met my husband right 2 days before an eclipse on my axis of my sun and the seventh house, the sun, and it was affecting a personal planet. So my life in the next 3 months totally changed. It was like it was a big spin. It felt like a big shock to my body. I was crying daily because like I had to abandon my all other life, but I was so happy at the same time. But it feels like a crisis, still like a shock. Just be aware that big change can come, those middle degrees of Scorpio, that requires some kind of a letting go of old roles in your life and old places and old people and situations, but in making space for something new. And of course, because it's full moon, there can be the rewards of previous actions that you received. Of course, because it's Scorpio and Uranus involved, it can be very fast, sudden, shocking. And with Uranus in the seventh house, it can be someone suddenly appearing in your life and turning it upside down for some of you. Just throwing out some ideas there. Then the other big event is that, by the way, even though the eclipse is on the 5th, and yes, it can, for some of you, make big changes, right after the 5th, Jupiter on the 7th enters Cancer, will be there the whole month till the end, which is fantastic for Scorpio because it's making a trine to you, and if benefics are making a trine or in your sign, you're protected this month. So Venus will protect you, Scorpios, and Venus is the ruler of your seventh house of relationships. So if something appears on the relationship horizon, it can actually be fortunate because the ruler of the seventh goes into the ninth house of fortune and luck. Wow, at the same time, Jupiter on the 16th will enter your seventh house and will directly look at Scorpio. So now we're going to have another benefic joining, and a whole year from the 16th of May till next May 2023, it will be looking at your sign. So you will be protected. If it's your ascendant, your physical body will be protected, and your health, your path in life. If it's your career, sun, usually your father, important males in your life, or your own endeavors and careers will be protected, and vitality. If it's your moon in Scorpio, your family will be protected, your emotional, mental health will be protected, and physical as well. Personal life. But despite of the eclipse, which can be a bit disturbing and intense, you have two planets that immediately step in to protect you, Venus and then Jupiter, and to make that and to show that things turned out for the best after that. And talking about that, you're going to have Mercury retrograde in your seventh house. There is a lot of action in this seventh house the whole month, Scorpio. Mercury is retrograde in your seventh house till the 14th, which means that something from the past, someone from the past can come back, old relationships to be restarted, or to be let's say sometimes even to be restarted, or to be seen from a different perspective and let go, or to be to bury the hatchet and not to feel the pain anymore. Or just people, friends that you haven't seen in a while can come up. Or sometimes Mercury retrograde there puts a challenge to your relationship because you bring up from the past. Some crisis can happen in relationships, personal or business, or with clients. Someone, because they bring up things that are done wrong, or you bring up things that are hurting you from the past, you can no longer bury them, or the other side can no longer bury them. Or if you've done mistakes, it's as if, oh, everyone points them out to you now. And that can be the challenge. Or you feel forced to point them and to speak about those things that hurt you in a relationship or friendship or partnership. Now, to correct them, Mercury is a planet that in ancient astrology, Vedic astrology, wants balance, to rebalance things, to make them more balanced, interesting enough, like Venus. So if you can agree on better terms and conditions to a contract, or if you can agree on better terms and conditions in a collaboration or partnerships, and you communicate it and discuss it, or maybe you have certain conditions for your partnership, so they have, and you speak and you solve this problem. When Mercury turns direct on the 14th onwards, you'd have a more stronger, more fair relationship, more balance with the personal business. Or you might decide to pay more attention to old clients you haven't paid attention to get in touch with them, to try and coax them. Or maybe you work on a project with another person, and while Mercury is retrograde, there are some delays, or maybe you're working on some business projects. 7th house is business, sales, any kind of work that you do not, that is can be connected to other people as well. So you're putting extra efforts, needing to revise, to edit, to fix something that's wrong. And when Mercury turns direct, things starts moving ahead well. Or if there is some delay to a contract, to a sale, to a business project, when Mercury turns direct, it starts moving ahead. Otherwise, it might be delayed till then, or blocked, or require extra efforts. And just when Mercury turns direct and things come back to normal, or improving your relationships, or in extreme cases, if you are not in the right relationship, you might have even eliminated someone during this Mercury retrograde period, some clients or some partners or some personal or business relationships of some sort that you revised, like you don't want these people on your social media or whatever, or some kind of crisis that you cleaned up and left someone behind. Well, right after that, even if you release some people, Jupiter enters your 7th house, and it will be there for a whole year. And Jupiter is considered the planet of luck, and the planet of love, and the planet of joy, not of love, but of blessings. So it can sort out any mess in your relationships if there's been after the 16th onwards, so from the middle of May. If before that there were complications and difficulties in relating with others in any way, personal or business, Jupiter comes then and helps you become more benevolent, and others become more benevolent. So if you cut off certain people from your life, Jupiter can bring in new, better people now. Ones that can even benefit you financially, because it's in Taurus, so that can make you feel more comfortable, give more comfort to you. Or Jupiter can also, Jupiter can also bring more expansion to you through others. For example, you can expand, others can bring opportunities to you, like professionally or business, or they can point you into the right direction of something. So ask for help when Jupiter is in your 7th house, and you'll receive it. Make partnerships for the next 1 year, starting from the middle of May. And this will be useful for you. This will be beneficial for you. Especially this can be partnership that bring more money to you, because Jupiter rules your 2nd house. It can also mean a lucky falling in love, lucky, because Jupiter rules your 5th house of being in love. Even though Saturn is in your 5th house, making you more critical who you let in to fall in love, more deliberate and slow, and testing rather than just, oh, everyone come in, do whatever you want with my heart. Saturn is like holding the reins, but the ruler of the 5th going in the 7th is very lucky to, as a possibility to fall in love if you're single, as a possibility to bring this feeling of 5th house in love and excitement into the 7th house. Plus 5th house is children. It can be brought into the 7th house to a relationship to take it to a next level as well. So, and sometimes if you are in an unhappy relationship, Jupiter enters the 7th house and you can be freed. Jupiter is a planet that wants to free you from a contract or agreement or business partnership that it's just a drag. You'll feel so happy actually that it ends. It's not going to be like, oh, I'm so sad, why? And immediately there might be someone else there, someone much better, like a client, like a business partner that comes to substitute the previous partnership, so business or personal partnership. So these are the things. Good things can come. Interesting new people can enter your life over the next 12 months. You can be a good time to marry. I remember when Jupiter was in the 7th house from my sun, I married. Then Jupiter in the 7th house from my Ascendant, I married. So I get to marry with Jupiter in my 7th house. I don't think that, of course. Not every time Jupiter transits your 7th house you'll marry. My husband just had Jupiter transiting his 7th house. I just became happier. His wife became happier. So if you're already in a marriage, it can make the relationship easier, better. Or if you're in a relationship that has absolutely no love, it's just like, oh, finally free. But also it can improve. There can be some new opportunity in the life of your partner that comes, that you get excited about, that reflects on you, that it feels positive for you as well. Plus, if it's your sun in Scorpio, Jupiter in the 7th house is not only about relationships. It can mean that over the next 1 year, it can be a growth in regards to your relationships, where it becomes more public, and not relationship, in regards to your career, where it becomes more public and expands for more people to notice you, and growth as well. And the 7th house is definitely house of business. You can expand the number of clients you have. I've seen people when Jupiter transits the 7th house, from the Ascendant, I've seen it, like suddenly their Facebook page explode and they get so much orders overnight, and they're like, what's happening? Last year, suddenly from this month, and since when Jupiter passes just the 7th house cusp exactly, it's like the clientele doubles. The outreach to the like can grow. And if anyone wants to become famous or popular, if that's what they're fighting for more views, for more followers, Jupiter can make it happening, because these are the houses of social houses, of social approval. So Jupiter expecting all three houses like that can make your business more viral, it can make you have more following, or can just make you have more social connections with others overall, and networking and connecting contacts, and more people entering your life overall. All good things can come to you by collaborating, reaching out to others. So stay open for that. Thank you so much, Scorpio. Hopefully the single ones of you will no longer be single. And yeah, interesting times coming for you. Try not to do things on your own only. And trust in others, trust in your partners, because good things can come to you from them. I know it's hard for Scorpio, but do it.